All right, welcome back, everybody, to another Sarcasm Speaks. Jared, Bob, Dickie here, and I'm going to get right into this. This has been going on for a couple days. We posted about it on our social media, if you follow us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. There's been some wild shit in the Jeffrey Epstein case been going on. Not necessarily Jeffrey Epstein himself, but there was a judge, federal judge, Esther Salas. She was assigned to the case regarding Epstein and I think it was Citibank or Chase Bank, like one of those.
Titty Bank?
Yeah. Titty Bank.
Titty Bank?
TD Bank. One of those banks.
Had to have been Titty Bank.
I think it was TD Bank. About like looking into like the money laundering and why it wasn't caught and why no one did anything of it. So I think it was like members of the bank are suing the bank for like letting it happen. So she is the judge that gets appointed to the case. 4 days later, someone shows up to her front door dressed as a FedEx delivery man, and her husband opens the door and is shot multiple times by this FedEx guy. Her son runs over because of the commotion that's going on. He gets shot. The son was 20 years old. He was killed. He was pronounced dead on the scene when police arrived. When the cops got there, they had the husband in critical condition. At the time, Judge Salas was in the basement, so she wasn't there and she wasn't harmed. So, 4 days after she gets this case related to Epstein, her husband is shot and her 20-year-old son is murdered by a hitman who is dressed up like a FedEx guy. Like, this is some shit that you see in like a movie. This is movie. This is some movie quality shit. Some dude dressed as a FedEx delivery guy knocks on your front door, you open the door, bang, shot. Like,
wasn't he found dead too?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting to now. So then, the next day, so this was Sunday, I believe. The next day, Monday, the following day, they found the FedEx guy. Well, he was dead. He dead.
Oh, he killed himself.
A self-inflicted gunshot wound. Yeah. Quote unquote. He killed himself. So this is literally, it's more and more like a movie. Like this, it's almost too unbelievable. Like it almost fits a movie plot too much. Where you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like it's obviously never funny when something like this happens, but it's almost funny. Where you're like, what? This is legit? Like this is really happening right now?
It's only missing that suicide machine from Shooter.
Shooter with Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, where they fucking crank his arm down and then they pull the trigger and it's literally like he fucking shot himself. Like what is going on here? And
this wouldn't make a very good movie.
No, not at all. And the worst part about it is no one's talking about it.
Yeah.
Because all the major mainstream media wants to cover is coronavirus, Trump being a piece of shit, and protests. Black Lives Matter. That's it.
I saw it on NBC, which was refreshing. That was the only one.
When they cover it real quick, they give it a quick 15-second spot.
I saw it on Snapchat's news.
Yeah, there you go. On Snapchat News. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Snapchat, for the news. So no one's talking about all fucking day long. All they do is run Black Lives Matter, Trump is an asshole, and coronavirus. That's it. And one of my buddies, Tony, not Tony, architect Tony, but my other buddy Tony that I went to high school with, hit me up the other day because I posted it, and I obviously reposted it on Sarcasm Speaks, and I reposted it on my personal Instagram. And he was like, bro, this is wild. Like, this is unreal. And he's the one that brought it up. He said today on the news all day long, so this was Monday, he goes, all day today, all they covered was those three things. And now Tony is a black young man. So I guess...
Define young.
I mean, he's our age.
Not young anymore.
Almost 30.
Not young.
So he is a black man. And he even said to me, dude, this is wild. All they're trying to do is keep people divided. He's a great guy. Like, obviously, I've been friends with him forever, since
He's friends
middle
with you,
school.
so can
Yeah.
you actually trust his judgment?
Probably not. So, but anyway, like, it's like people are starting to recognize this, and they're starting to realize, like, all the news is trying to do is keep us divided. Because the longer we point fingers at each other, the longer the government gets to get away with whatever they want, and no one's looking at them. No one's actually keeping tabs on them. No one's looking into the whole Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell thing because we're too busy yelling at each other for not wearing masks. Or we're too busy yelling at each other of which statues belong where. Or we hate each other because we're different skin color. Or we're yelling at each other because I support one old white rapist and you support a different old white rapist. Like, the more we do that, the more the actual scumbag pieces of shit that are in politics get to skate by, and no one brings up that they're fucking pedophile pieces of shit.
Which this all pertains to a different white rapist, Epstein.
Yes, yeah.
So it's like people are fighting over which white rapist to support, yet this news is about a different white rapist.
I want to hear more about Gary. Gary's the white rapist that lives down the street. He's recently out of jail. Why don't we hear about Gary?
Barry's cousin's Larry's cousin Gary.
Yeah. Coming soon on season 2 of Weekend Warriors. That will never happen. That's gone.
Too bad.
Yeah, it's too bad. It was a great show. But so, I mean, no one's talking about it. Nobody.
It's amazing because if you just like you don't even need to know any backstory. You don't need to know anything. Just the facts of what you've said. It's wild.
Yeah.
Fucking...
And so I talked to Sexy Chris about this the other day, and we talked on Sunday, I think it was, and I sent him this thing, and he's intelligent and level-headed, and he goes, it's really easy to call this a conspiracy and start making whatever, and he goes, it could be a coincidence. He goes, I realize it's how unlikely that sounds, but this judge also was involved with gangs. She's locked up members of the Bloods and Crips, and she also locked up one of the people from the Real Housewives of whatever the fuck city it was. She was the judge in that case that locked up the family or whatever for tax evasion, I think it was. I don't know. But so then my obviously ignorant response was, yeah, but gang members wouldn't hire a guy from FedEx, and neither would a reality TV show star. And he goes, yeah, I mean, you really are just thinking that because that's what the movies tell you. And I go, you know what? You're not wrong. However, the trump card came on Monday when you sent me that link to the FedEx guy was found of a, quote, self-inflicted gunshot wound.
That changed the whole narrative.
And I sent that to Chris, and I go, where's the conspiracy now? I go, bro, what the fuck is going on? And at that point, he was also like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I can't remember if it's true, but wasn't the guy that committed suicide, wasn't he an attorney or something too?
I don't know, the FedEx guy, the hitman?
Yeah,
He wasn't actually, so he didn't actually work for FedEx.
No. He was dressed
He was dressed as a
I keep
FedEx.
saying that he was an attorney.
Yeah.
I see a couple of things.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, whatever it was, he's
Someone
dead
had
now.
something on him, and then
Yeah.
that's the other
Oh,
conspiracy.
yeah, that's like, what the fuck was that movie? Eagle Eye. Remember that movie with Shia LaBeouf?
I
Michelle
didn't see that.
Monaghan? It's like the robot,
yeah.
the robot takes over, like AI, like controls everything,
Just
and
watching him.
she like, because it's a robot, she knows everyone's personal life, so she like finds personal things about people and like gets them to do
that's
her
the one.
bidding
Yeah.
for her.
I forgot that the villain was a robot.
The villain was a robot, yeah.
Was it like iRobot?
Yes, very much.
Yeah, but it wasn't
very
like
much
a guy robot. And
Or was
that
a
one,
female
was
robot.
Phi robot.
Yeah,
A fembot?
It was a fembot.
That's more accurate.
yeah. If any, you know what? If anything, what movies have told me is you can't trust female robots between Eagle Eye, Austin Powers, and Ex Machina. You can't trust female robots.
We've come a long way with sexism, but not with robots.
Yeah. Robot sexism still exists.
Here's a question: what makes a robot a female?
Oh, dude, it's 2020. All it takes is for her to say, "I'm a female."
Okay, so she actually has to announce it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I really just wanted to call you a bigot again.
Yeah. Dude, I could be a female right now. I identify as a female. All right, cool. I'm a female now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go enter a women's golf tournament.
Yeah.
I feel like being a chick right now.
Yeah, I think I'm a woman.
I think so.
So yeah, the whole thing is just fucking crazy to me. And I mean, at this point, fuck, man, I don't know shit. But I don't think it's related to the whole Ghislaine Maxwell thing. I think it's more an Epstein thing, where somebody in power doesn't want people to dig through his shit and his financials because the strings are going to go all the way to the top. Like I said before on this podcast, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck how high it goes. Get rid of all, put them all in jail. If you support pedophilia or you are a fucking pedophile and you're involved in child sex trafficking, go to fucking jail. Die for all I care. I don't give a shit. I don't think there's anything, off the top of my head, there's nothing more gross and disgusting than that.
You don't really come back from that one.
No. So like I said, I don't care. I don't care if Trump's involved because there's so many pictures of Trump with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. I don't give a fuck. If that's what happened, put him in jail. I don't care. I don't care if 75% of Congress is fucking implicated in this thing.
Oh my god.
Get them the
that'd be
fuck
a
out.
Good thing.
Honestly, it would be a good thing.
What would happen if they can't vote them out because they would be voting themselves? Like, we would vote them out over. Like, would it take 4 years? Like,
No.
all right, guys, we gotta get rid of the pet. Would
Can't
the
they all be
military just
impeached?
get rid of them?
No, they
Yeah, but who would impeach them if they all are like
If
if
they-
majority are bad?
Oh,
They're just
no.
not gonna
If they
impeach
were
them.
found guilty of a felony, they immediately are removed from office.
Well,
You can't-
you have to hold an impeachment trial though. Like that has to happen, and they.
You can find a prosecutor to do it.
For
No,
every single member of
the
Congress.
Senate's the one that votes in impeachments though.
Yeah, but they don't.
Yeah.
No. For
That's only
every-
of the president, right?
Yeah, I'm talking
the
about like
president, yeah.
anybody in Congress.
Yeah, but
Like if we remove
Yeah, you
75% of Congress, if you're a congressman and you're charged of a felony in office, I'm pretty sure you're immediately removed. You're relieved of your duties.
I don't know that because like at first it's an impeachment.
If it's not, then it
Well,
should be. There's a
well,
glaring
no,
hole.
it's-
Hey, all this shit
yeah.
that people are arguing about in the fucking Constitution, there's a glaring hole here.
Yeah.
You should not be allowed to be a congressman if you
Yeah.
are convicted of a felony.
Well, no, you actually can be a congressman if you were convicted. That's not a requirement. So like if you
Well, that's
like,
what we need to be focusing on.
but no, like if let's say there's 51 congressmen that are probably pedophiles, like are pedophiles, and they get impeached by the House of Representatives. Then it goes to Congress, and they're gonna win 51 to 49. They're not gonna vote against themselves to get impeached. Like, do you understand? Like, if there's a majority, they can't.
Is that
just-
how it works?
Yeah.
You impeach individual members of Congress? I
Yeah.
thought it was only the
No.
president.
So
Oh, you can impeach any public official.
congressmen, where's the words? I just saw the words. Members of Congress are subject to the same laws as all Americans. So,
Well.
I assume,
I know this
but so you're.
if you're in
Can another congressman impeach a congressman?
if you're in the government right now,
Yes.
you need to be impeached first, and then you have your trial for any felonies. So you have to be impeached, and then you have to have an impeachment trial afterwards to see if there's wrongdoing. After that, then there's the criminal trial that could proceed. So first it's an impeachment in the House of Representatives, then you go to the Senate, and the Senate impeaches you, and then you might have criminal trials after that. Impeachment in the Senate kicks you out of office. Does that make sense? It's like a
Yes.
3-step process. State government's a little bit, it's the same really, but when you get to local government, it's a little bit different.
Senators cannot be impeached, though.
They can't.
They cannot.
Ooh, how do they get?
They can only be expelled.
It's kind of like retirement, I guess, then, where they just, that's the rules on, like, appointing a new one. I don't know what that is, though. Don't they have to be convicted?
So, according to Wikipedia, quick glance over here, the Constitution gives Congress the authority to impeach and remove the President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States. The Constitution does not articulate who qualifies as a civil officer of the United States. However, precedent has been set where federal judges are subject to impeachment.
Yes, I knew that. They have the same.
So it says the executive branch and federal judges, and it also says heads of agencies.
Yeah, that's
So it says, here we go. The Senate has concluded that members of Congress, representatives, and senators are not civil officers for purposes of impeachment. As a practical matter, expulsion is effected by the simpler procedures of Article 1, Section 5, which proves each house shall be the judge of the elections, returns, qualifications of its own members. Each house may determine the rules of its proceedings, whatever, punish its members for disorderly behavior, whatever. They can expel a member. So, upon somebody that
So they expel the member, so it's the same as like an impeachment without the trial. I didn't know they had a different one. I was wrong on that.
yeah.
But
So
they just kick him out.
Yeah.
But
so
what?
if you're convicted of a felony in office, you can just.
But you would
kicked
need.
out.
But you would need majority decision to kick him out, which is probably 51%, unless it's 60. But that's what you would need.
No.
No.
It says each house can determine the rules of proceedings on their own.
Well, okay. So on each one they can just make a rule, but you would need to make a rule by voting, and you would need 51%. I'm confused.
No, nowhere in there does it say you need 51%.
How do you?
It says so. What the actual thing says, Article 1, Section 5 says each house. So the House of Representatives and the Senate gets to create their own rules.
Yeah.
So if the House of Representatives say, if you're convicted of a felony, you're removed, no vote. That's the rule.
But
Like it doesn't say anywhere.
Is it already set though? Because the way to set a rule is to vote on it though.
Yeah, I don't know. It
That's the
doesn't.
thing.
It doesn't get that far.
I think they need to vote on it to see what the rule is. So.
No, I'm
So
assuming
it might
it's
be.
whatever.
It might be a circular logic bullshit where they would never get kicked out. Is what I'm saying.
It doesn't happen often, but it does happen.
Yeah, it allows each member of each house to expel its own members without involving the other chamber.
Yeah, no, that's a given.
Yeah.
Well, put it to you this way: there's only this is a very uncommon thing.
Yeah.
So
I think the military district.
in the history, there's been 17.
Mhm.
11 of them were because they defended the Confederacy.
Yeah.
And then there were another 3 the next year for the same reason. So that's 14. So 14 of 17 were Confederacy defenders.
Yeah.
So in 1797,
17.
Senator William Blount of Tennessee
That's the last person in the House of Representatives to be impeached.
was
Or
expelled
removed.
for treason.
Expelled. I'm sorry.
Is
He had a
trying
plan
help
to
the French?
incite the Creek and Cherokee to aid the British in conquering the Spanish territory of West Florida. In 1980, Michael Myers, I assume the serial killer, was expelled after being convicted of bribery. I mean, I gotta imagine diddling is worse than bribery.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
weak sauce.
Yes, it's high crime. It's treason, bribery, and high crime.
That's
Okay.
for
And diddling is high crime?
That's a felony.
Yeah, it's a
which means,
felony.
high crime. The high crime. They didn't have felonies and misdemeanor as terms back then.
Gotcha.
So high crimes just meant serious shit. Which
Gotcha.
felonies mean serious shit now.
Yeah.
They like to argue that.
And then in 2002, Democrat from Ohio. Oh fuck, dude, that guy in 1797 was a Democratic Republican.
Yeah, that was
Well,
the.
That would blow people's minds today.
I know.
You can't be on both sides.
They were.
Fucking.
They were the opposite of Federalists. I think they were not really Republican or Democrat.
Whigs?
Yeah. What about the Whigs?
They were there for a little bit.
I like the Whig Party.
Whig the one with the guy who died of pneumonia because he wanted to seem strong by not wearing a coat during this thing.
That's
Like Henry David Thoreau. That's his name.
That was
That's a writer.
That's a British poet.
Henry. It's a three-named bitch that died. After 27
was he
years.
actually the president?
He died in 27
It was in
years.
it was in Parks and Rec.
Yeah. He died.
William
because
Henry Harrison.
Yeah,
Yes.
William Henry Harrison. He died because he didn't want to wear a coat, make his new party seem tough. It was winter. It was a storm. He died.
27 days or whatever it
Pneumonia.
was.
Yeah. Less than a month.
So yeah. So this is great. Has nothing to do with anything. But in 1803, Judge John Pickering was removed or expelled from the Supreme Court for drunkenness and unlawful rulings.
Dick.
For being a drunk, he was removed. So I mean, if we can remove people for being drunks and taking bribes,
What year was that?
1803. Okay. Yeah.
Just double checking.
We can certainly remove people for being fucking pedophiles.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, that's something I would love to see. Let's fuck it. Let's turn over.
Dude.
Yeah, but I really want to see what happens if it's a majority of people and they can't remove them because the majority rules, and then like the military comes in and just has to be like, all right, fuck off.
Well,
Like, they come
military.
in.
There would have to be something where there's got to be some random fucking clause where like the U.S. Attorney General can step in and make a fucking whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be something there.
Yeah, that'd be like if the Senate was so corrupted.
Yeah.
Because what's the Senate? 100 and
100.
100.
Oh, DC doesn't have a senator. They just have reps.
Yeah, they have a senator, but he doesn't have a vote.
Cool.
Sick.
Hey, go hold this balloon
That's
for
why they
us.
want to.
Yeah.
That's why they want this state.
Wow.
They
Yeah.
they have no.
Imagine
representation.
that. I'm a senator. Oh, of where? DC.
They
Oh,
have
cool.
they have the
Oh.
weakest
You
representation,
don't
I
even,
think,
you don't
Maryland.
even have a vote.
Yeah. Oh.
Fucking nerd.
So you're not a senator. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, like, let's just say, so someone threw out the number 75%.
Yeah.
So if 75% of the Senate is, on a list, which it won't be, but fine, it is.
Right. Well, I make all of Congress.
What 100's a much easier number to use.
236.
Yeah.
Plus 100.
100's
336.
100's way easier number
Yeah.
to use.
Yeah.
So 75%. That leaves 25%. So I guess, is it up to the 25% to make their votes? Or is it up to someone else to be like, oh, wow, you just pulled an SMU in 1979. We're just going to give you the death penalty.
What it should be is, if you want to talk majority votes, it should be a majority vote of the 25% that's not convicted.
Well, that's what I meant. It's
like,
either-
like if someone is being
Yeah.
like convicted or indicted, like they shouldn't be able to cast a vote of whether or not they get to keep their job.
All right, so I only need 13
Watch him
votes.
fucking-
Yeah.
Watch him fucking blow it, though.
Well, that's the thing, because then you could be 13 for,
Let's make a deal.
Yeah.
12 again. Dude,
Yeah.
that's not a lot. Like,
No.
well, Jim was always a prick, so I'll vote against him.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's weird. And then so
Hold on.
Trump's not doing himself any favors either right now, because it's been well documented that Trump and Epstein go way back. He's been on his plane multiple times. He's been to his island. He had claimed in an interview that they had a falling out in 2004 in relation to a real estate deal gone bad. I'm assuming Epstein probably fucked him over, or Trump tried to fuck over Epstein. Whatever. One of them. They're both two New York guys, for old school New York guys. So one of them definitely tried to fuck over the other one, or they both fucked each other over. If we're being realistic.
If they both fuck each other over, who comes out on top?
It's on point
I
of
don't
being
know.
alleged rapists.
Ghislaine.
Fucking-
So he like didn't really ever give a statement on Epstein when all that shit went down. Like he kind of did. He was like very tepid about it. But they asked him at a press conference the other day while he was giving an update on the coronavirus, and they asked him about Ghislaine Maxwell. And there's a picture of the two of them together sitting next to each other in it doesn't say when the picture was taken, it doesn't say what year, but it looks to be anywhere from 20 to 30 years ago, probably closer to 20. I don't know if him and Epstein went that far back, but call it 20, 25 years ago, and they're both relatively younger looking. And his response to the reporter was, let me see if I can find it.
I've never talked to that woman before.
If Maxwell asked on Tuesday if he thinks Maxwell will turn in powerful men, the president told the reporter that he hasn't been following it too much, really. When it comes to Maxwell, he said, I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach too. Okay. But I wish her well, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, I
Then
hope she comes
the
out.
next paragraph is, whatever it, in quotes, is, a federal investigation into a sex trafficking operation Maxwell allegedly helped orchestrate. According to the indictment, she would recruit, groom, and ultimately abuse girls as young as 14, luring them to Epstein's various homes, coercing them into sex, whatever they told, all this other shit. I haven't been following it too much. I wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. Dude, we all know you were friends. We all know you hung out together. There's pictures of you with him and her. Multiple pictures. Not like it was like one event. Like sometimes people do that, like at the fucking Oscars, like one guy walks in because his limo pulls up right behind another guy and they walk in together. It's like fucking Oliver Stone and, I don't know, someone who's really right, Rush Limbaugh. So it's like Oliver Stone and Rush Limbaugh walk in next to each other in the Oscars because their limo pulled up and everyone's like, look, see, they have a picture together. It's like, no, this isn't that. There's multiple pictures. There's multiple pictures of Trump with Epstein and Maxwell. And he goes, I guess they lived in Palm Beach too. I just wish her well. Buddy.
Just say she deserves what she gets if she's guilty.
Buddy,
That's all you have to say.
What are you doing?
Imagine playing the card of like, I know them, but I don't know them.
yeah. Oh, I haven't really been following it.
Well, I wish her well because I met her before, and she seemed fine. But yeah, I don't really know where they lived. I guess someone told me. It's
So
like,
here's a relevant.
I hung out with them at their house. I think they lived there.
Here's a relevant example. What's the school? UMass Dartmouth. That's where the bomber for Boston was from, or the school he went to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say you're in a picture at a big house party and he's in the background, and you respond the same way Trump did. They'd be like, "You fucking were like best friends with him, weren't you?" Like, you sound like someone that likes him. Or at least you're not saying that he's an asshole. Everyone else is saying he's an asshole.
Yeah, that or you sound like you're hiding something.
Yeah,
Right.
You're
Yeah, you either love the guy or you, again, you know something that you don't want to share.
Right. Yeah, that's not a good look. And like I said, I don't care. If he's implicated in all of it, fuck him. Put him in jail.
Dude, turn everything over. Just turn it all fucking over.
Yeah.
But, speaking of, as you brought him up, and Spoon brought this up to me earlier today, maybe like 5 o'clock or so,
Mhm.
he was out and he was talking again, and he urged all Americans to wear masks. He finally.
Yeah.
He also is going to now start going to briefings on coronavirus. He hasn't been since April. Pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So the question now is, because Trump says that masks work and he's urging people to wear them, does the other side now flip the script? And,
Oh shit.
and now masks are bad? Because remember, before, with any topic,
Right.
whatever Trump says, you gotta go the other way.
Yeah.
So now, do we start to see some stuff like, hey, maybe masks don't work. Hey, maybe we don't need them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I said before, if that actually does happen, I will go insane. I'll become like a PG version of like the Joker. I'll lose my mind. Like,
Yeah. Well,
send bombs
I mean, I
and
wouldn't be
ducks.
surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if it did. That's literally what's going on. People are like adults are children.
I can't see it.
Adults are acting like
But
children.
if it happens.
Through all of this, the kids are way fucking better. And I know I've said this,
The
but
kids are the only ones that have their shit together right now.
they're the only ones that like They don't jump to out. So if you think of like what do kids do? They say dumb shit.
Right.
They jump to outrageous conclusions. They don't listen to anybody. They're stubborn. They just say shit and they just go with it. That is every adult right now.
Yeah.
You know what the kids do? Bob, do I have to wear this mask? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, Bob, do you think we're gonna play sports this fall? Hey, man, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? They're like, oh, I just have no idea.
Yeah.
Yet you ask the adults, we have to have sports.
Yeah.
You ask the adults.
Yeah.
Or it's like someone goes out, it's like, hey, so maybe we'll play like the sports that are safe to social distance and not. No. If you're going to run cross country or play golf, then we have to play soccer too.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Right.
It's not fair.
No, you can't move baseball to the fall. Baseball's a spring sport.
The joints will lock up.
And you can't put football in the spring because it's not a spring sport.
They'll cramp up.
Like, dude.
Like, don't tell major college programs that.
No. So they,
Football.
so the only thing, but you know what the kids say? Like, whatever.
We don't
Yeah,
care.
well,
They're like, we'll just do what we're told.
Yeah.
Like, you tell us we can play, we'll play. You tell us we can't, we won't. Like,
Right.
it's pretty simple. We'll prepare as though we are. But I will say, with the difference between college and high school sports, the college sports could move to the spring and would be fine.
Yeah.
You can't move high school sports because of how many athletes play different
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah, no,
So
that's
you're
true.
not going to be able to roster full teams.
That's true. Yeah, with the crossover and everything.
Yeah.
You do a summer season.
I don't know
Winter,
if you
spring,
can.
summer. And like all winter indoors will be in summer indoors.
I don't
Drop off
know.
your kids.
I don't think you technically can if the kids aren't in school.
Dude. That's my answer.
Okay.
Make a move like a rule in the civil whatever.
Are you asking for logic?
Yeah. City council.
Idiot.
No, you
City
don't get
council.
You don't get that.
Dude.
Have you been listening to me like the last 4 episodes? I've asked for logic and I've just been
You're not getting logic.
yeah.
I can't wait to see it though. I can't wait to see the movement for no mask anymore.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
Hashtag no mask.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
he
it's
said,
good.
he said things are gonna get worse. I hope like they said the other side says things are getting better. We don't need masks. Like just
Yeah. Trump literally came out and said, I saw that. He said it just popped up on Twitter before we got on. He got I have it
that's
right
the
here.
one we were talking about.
Trump says COVID-19 in the U.S. will, quote, get worse before it gets better
Yeah.
during his press conference.
So now, does it have to get better before it gets worse?
I was gonna say, is it gonna be the exact opposite words? It's gonna
So
actually
now-
get better.
So now the left is going to come out and say, I don't know what he's talking about. Everyone's better. The cases are way down. Now this is what's going to happen. They're going to flip their message because, like we talked about in the last episode, when people were freaking out about Texas, well, there's a surge in Texas. Yeah. The number of cases might have gone up, but it went up from 2% to 3%, and it's still an all-time low since March. The only time it's been lower was last week. We covered that. But now the left is going to be like, well, I don't know, Texas is at an all-time low.
Oh, the only reason the numbers are going up is because we're doing more testing.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. The amount of shit that flips on this.
I'm pretty sure this mask is gonna be CO2 poisoning.
Yeah.
I've been wearing it for 4 months.
I know my
now.
rights in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
Also, I don't know Winn-Dixie.
yeah, that's
What?
South Florida.
It's a
Grocery store.
southern grocery store.
supermarket, yeah.
I got to imagine just based off name, it's got to be a super fucking conservative company.
I mean, it's in all the
Yeah.
conservative places.
It's like a Kroger.
The only thing I know about
it's like
Kroger
it's like
is
a
down
it's
south.
like a Shaw's too. It's a Shaw's and they have another one called Publix, like the same thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have gas stations at them
Well,
and
they,
wine.
after Trump said wear masks, now they're gonna have people wear masks inside.
Yeah.
So
Florida will be like the beacon of the
Yeah.
U.S. all of a sudden.
But you know
No
what?
cases.
You know what I heard today on I forget whether it was the midday show or it was Felder and Maz, but they were talking about the NFL and how it had the potential to be an absolute shit show coming back because they were saying the NBA since July 13th, I think it was, have had 0 positive cases.
one week, 0 cases from the bubble.
Yeah, and because they're contained, everything is good, everyone's following, despite Dwight Howard's best efforts, everyone is doing okay. Because did you see that shit too?
No.
Dwight Howard was posting about how he's not wearing a mask and all this shit. That's another thing too. They were ripping him. I'm going on like 7 tangents right now, but with the whole Dwight Howard thing, they were saying like, listen, your entire league, they're probably not all happy about this. As a matter of fact, they're definitely not all happy. Not 100% of the NBA is happy to be there in this situation. But they're all shutting up and they're all doing it. They're wearing their masks. They're going about what they need to do. They're following protocol. Dwight Howard's out here posting videos. I ain't wearing no mask. I ain't doing nothing. So Jim Murray today on the Felger Mass show goes, why are you there? Yeah. If that's your attitude, why are you there? Because you're allowed to opt out. You're allowed to opt out and say, I'm not comfortable playing this season, and you'll still get paid. Everyone that wants to be there is following protocols, and you're the one dickhead that's flaunting how you're not following protocols. And he made a good point. He goes, what if someone is there, someone went down, they were really on the fence. Like, they really aren't comfortable, but like, it's their job, and they love it, and they love the game, and they're just really willing to take a chance because they don't want to let their team down, but like, they're super, super, like, skeptical about being there. And then you got a dickhead like Dwight Howard. I ain't wearing no mask. I'm going out whenever I want. I'm doing whatever I want. Now that guy is like, well, what the fuck? Why am I need to leave then.
May I?
Yeah.
If they're in the bubble,
yeah,
with 0 cases, what's the difference?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like,
perspective-wise,
Dwight Howard, I don't know what he's been doing. Like, I don't know if he's been going out, but all it takes is one person.
But he's not leaving the bubble, right? No one. He's leaving the bubble.
He is not.
Or is he...
He said he's not following any protocols.
You shouldn't.
I don't. It was vague. It was vague. It just said he's not following protocols.
Okay.
I don't know the
Okay,
specifics
then
of
never.
what that
Okay,
means.
so if he's just not wearing the mask, I was gonna say with just the mask.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, did you see the guy who was like, he tweeted out and he goes, oh yo, if you guys don't want this fucking terrible food, order in whatever. He left the hotel and then had to isolate for 14 days because he ordered food outside.
Yeah.
So is Dwight Howard leaving or not?
Well,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they're like practicing still, so they have like basically shuttles to go and practice. He's probably practicing without a mask, or like going in the locker room or the bathroom without the mask. Those little steps in between, in a place that's filled with like the essential workers.
No, I think he's not. He is leaving because someone snitched on him. Someone called the snitch line on him.
So he's leaving. He's leaving the bubble.
Well, someone called on someone dribbling. I remember that.
Someone's
dribbling in that room at night.
Yeah, someone called the snitch line on Dwight Howard.
Okay, so he's leaving the bubble.
Pretty sure.
It's not just
I'm not
the mask.
I'm not 100% certain, but I'm like 85% sure.
Okay.
Well, putting it in the most simple wording in perspective, imagine billions of dollars in revenue are on the line if you just wear a fucking mask.
Well, no, not even just that. Like Jim Murray had said, like, why are you there?
Yeah.
If you really don't want to stay in a bubble and you really don't want to wear a mask, the league said you don't have to be there. You could have just lied. You're tough, big tough guy, Dwight Howard. Oh, I'm not scared of the coronavirus. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not staying in the bubble. All right, cool, fine. You don't have to come. If you don't, you lie. Say, I don't feel comfortable being there, or don't lie. Say, I don't want to follow your rules. I'm opting out of this season. Okay, Dwight, we still pay you your full salary. All right, cool. I get to sit my ass on my couch for 3 months while you guys do this tournament thing, and I still get paid because I don't want to follow your dumb rules. That's what how hard was that? But instead, he has to be Timmy fucking Tough Nuts over here. I'll show them. I'm going to go to camp. I'm going to go in the bubble. I'm not going to wear the mask. I'm going to leave the bubble, and then I'm going to post videos about it because I'm tough. What are you doing?
It's freedoms. You know, people in South Korea, they get an ankle bracelet and have to quarantine for 14 days, like, there's a bracelet on.
Yeah.
Like, and they're fine with it. It's like, yeah, it's necessary for the times. And then Dwight Howard is getting paid so much money, can't put on a mask or.
Well, like, my big thing is, like, he doesn't have to be there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
If you don't like it, you don't have to be there.
Yeah.
Same thing. We had said this at the very beginning, when before Massachusetts mandated wearing masks. and I refused to wear masks into fucking Home Depot and all the places we were going back when we were doing projects. And I was like, you know what? If they want me to wear a mask, they'll fucking tell me to wear the mask. And then eventually they did. And it's like, if you don't want me in here without a mask, don't let me in the door. And eventually they did. It's the same idea. If you don't want to fucking be there because you don't want to follow the rules, then don't be there. Don't go.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, it's, people are just fucking stupid. Yeah, it will be interesting to see if the left flips on that.
Yeah, so I don't know if Dwight Howard's actually leaving the bubble. I think he's just purely not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Which,
Where?
now this is a little cynically.
Well, I know, so my thing is, I know someone called the snitch line on him.
Because he wasn't wearing a mask
Is that what it was for?
in the bubble.
Okay.
So cynically, may allow me just a couple seconds. If they're all in the bubble and they're all testing, and this assumes it's a true bubble,
Yeah.
and you had to be tested on the way in, and you get tested regularly. Dwight doesn't need the mask.
Are all the other people in the bubble too, like those
So
system things?
what
Like, yeah,
I
true
mean
bubble,
is
that's
if
what
it's
I-
a true
yeah,
bubble,
That's the thing, like, is it?
which I
if
don't
it
know
is-
because they were like it might be, but it might not be.
Yeah.
Like employees might be allowed in, but they might not. Like, so if it's a true bubble setting, he doesn't actually need the fucking thing.
I feel like there's always like a chance at human error, like there's gonna be like a worker who's called in because there's other people that are out, and there is no real true bubble. Like that's a utopia that won't exist.
Right.
So input on the mask is just that extra step to guarantee. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Plus, never mind. I don't trust the tests. But
Yeah.
And has it been less than? How long have they been there? Has it been less than 2 weeks?
it's been more than 2 weeks, I think.
So that is like all throughout.
So that's my only thing. It's like it's like the PGA Tour. Everyone gets tested like all the time. Like you're not allowed on the grounds until you have like negative tests.
Caddies now too.
Caddies, everybody, coaches, whatever. And a lot of these guys are going from tournament to tournament, so it's like we have it all documented. That's my only thing. It's like, I'm sorry, if Rory McIlroy is going to test positive while playing in all these golf tournaments, it's not because he didn't wear a mask in the scoring tent.
Right.
That's not going to be it.
Right.
It's going to be something else.
Yeah.
But,
So I remember what it was now. It was the morning show while I was on the way to the golf course. Will Brinson called in and was talking about the NFL and how it's kind of has the potential to be a shit show because like all the like the NHL and NBA are like bubble things, and the NFL is not doing bubbles. They're doing like business as usual, and they're also allowing each individual franchise to make their own rules and regulations and all this shit. And Will Brinson is like, now I know what this is going to sound like, and I'm not necessarily making a political comment here, but bear with me. And he goes, it's almost as if we needed one central figure to stand up and take some leadership and make one unified decision for the league as a whole to make sure that each individual franchise wasn't doing something that was going to compromise the rest of the league. Wouldn't it make sense if there was one figure that stood up and took the power and led by example and made this rule? And then obviously Toucher and Rich were like, oh yeah, I can see where that could get political.
It's almost as if they're like states all of a
But
sudden.
it's-
teams.
It's not wrong.
Nah.
You know, like
What team do you think is gonna be like the Florida of the team? Like
Tampa.
Tampa.
I mean, they're just they're
Miami.
victims of their circumstance over there. But like yeah, but maybe
Dallas.
it's based on team. Like maybe they'll be locked down because they're in
Yeah.
Florida. But who's gonna be like the loosey goosey one that sucks?
Well, probably Houston, because Houston, like half their team's already had it.
Oh really?
Yeah, and they're reporting soon. Actually, they might have already reported.
Well, maybe they'll just have like Houston herd immunity. They'll just all get it. They'll be the ones in the Super Bowl. They'll have it early.
Nah, that team sucks.
Yeah, that's-
You can put in a fucking COVID replacement team. They'll be
oh, dude, what do you mean? They got David Johnson.
sick. Yeah. Did you know that MLB isn't playing in the bubble?
Yeah.
I didn't know that until like
How amazing! Did you see my thing
until Toronto.
that I sent to in a Snapchat group?
Which one?
How amazing! How Canadian is it that when the NHL was trying to figure out their bubble scenario,
Coming at you.
and they were like, yeah, we need somewhere to go. We're thinking about, I don't know, wherever they were thinking, like, I don't even know, like Vegas was one of them, and then another one was somewhere else. And they're like, ooh, yeah, let's go to Canada. And now the two hub cities for the bubbles in the NHL are Toronto and Edmonton.
Nice.
Now the MLB is trying to come back, and the Toronto Blue Jays are trying to play some fucking home games in Toronto, where they already have the hub city. They have, how many? There's 30 teams in the Eastern Conference? I don't know, 15? So they have 15 NHL teams in the city of Toronto, and the Blue Jays are like, hey, we want to play some games here. And the city of Toronto's like, what sport are you? Are you baseball? Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
Okay, I've heard that take, and I've been waiting for you to fucking finish. I've heard that take a million times. This isn't fucking baseball versus hockey. The difference is they don't want us in their country.
Yeah.
They don't want us there.
Yeah.
They don't want Americans coming over the border. They also don't want Toronto to leave. They don't want the Blue Jays to leave, come into our shitbag of a country, and go back.
Right.
That's what they don't want.
Right.
People have been saying that. They're like, oh, well, of course they let hockey play. It's like, no, you fucking morons. It's over the border travel. That's the problem.
Yeah, because it's still not allowed.
Imagine
It's
being
on,
in other countries.
there you go. Like the prime minister or chancellor, whatever the fuck they
I
have.
don't know.
Like
Yeah.
Canada's are.
Yeah.
The hockey's are. I don't
The
know.
hockey's are.
Like, whatever the fuck runs their country was like, yeah, America? Nah, stay out. Like, so then it's like, Toronto goes and like, okay, so we're gonna play baseball here. It's cool, right? And it's like, no.
Yeah.
The idiots below us still, they'll be coming.
Right, and the difference is there's more than one team in the NHL in Canada, and also the whole
entire league is there.
The whole league is there,
And they've been there for 2 weeks.
and they have way more internationals.
Yeah.
Like you have fucking asshole David Pastrnak, who that's a whole other thing. He's a fucking loser. Did you hear what he did?
I've only heard that he was unfit to participate.
Yeah. So before the teams haven't left yet to go to Canada. Or if they did, they left.
No, they haven't left, but they will have their 2 week, whatever the fuck
Yeah.
they're doing.
So David Pastrnak was in Prague because he's from the Czech Republic, whatever that country's called now.
Eastern European.
Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic. I don't know.
Czech Republic.
Yeah, cool. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Not the United States. Not the greatest country in the world, and oldest. They didn't invent electricity over
No,
there.
they didn't.
So they don't have an SEC.
And they didn't have a president who invented the car. either.
That's true. So he comes over from Prague, and he was supposed to quarantine or isolate. I'm sorry. He was supposed to isolate for 10 days. He claimed that he did, and went to practice with I think it was Charlie McAvoy and Matt Grzelcyk. I think was the defensive pair. Come to find out, there are pictures posted of him in, of all places, Malden, Massachusetts, and in an ice rink in Malden, which I'm assuming was the Flynn rink.
No,
That's technically Medford.
It's the Valley Forum. Valley Forum 2? No, what the fuck is that one called?
I don't know. But he was at the ice rink in Malden, and then he was rollerblading with idiots in Charlestown. So there's pictures of him going around that he wasn't isolating when he was supposed to be isolating. So as a result, every other member of the Bruins that was on the ice at the same time as him has now been deemed unfit to play. So Bruce Cassidy gave a press conference the other day and goes, yeah, it's really unfortunate. You get guys like McAvoy and Grzelcyk that can't play right now due to no fault of their own. And then he goes on and says some other shit, and so they're playing it on the Sports Hub, and they're like, wow, that's shots fired at fucking Pastrnak from the head coach. But rightfully so, dude. Like so now everyone's pissed at Pasternak.
Yeah. Well, he's a fucking idiot. So.
Yeah.
It's gonna be even better when he doesn't put pucks in the net.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. And Tuukka Rask has a broken finger.
Doing box jumps.
Yeah, it's good stuff. He's a fucking something. Well, like good news, kind of good news, potential good news,
What's good news?
potential shit show news. We have a vaccine potentially. Do you know who created the vaccine?
England.
Oxford in England.
Like the shoes.
Oxford has developed a coronavirus vaccine.
Let me know. Hey, let me know when a real school comes up with something.
Yeah, and has begun human trials, and it shows that that the people started making antibodies and had an actual immune response. So
Steal it.
what I say to that is, of course it was somewhere that wasn't the United States. Why would the United States be the ones to come up with this? We're too fucking busy yelling at each other for stupid fucking shit. And no, it's almost like, now this is a little bit conspiracy of me, but it's almost like there's no real incentive to get the vaccine done over here, because the longer we all argue with each other, the better, or the easier, like, politicians can just kind of go about their business. You know what I mean? Like, no one, like I said earlier in the show, like, no one's looking at the politicians when we're all screaming at each other.
Yeah, but I feel like we're in capitalism, so like doctors have an incentive to make money at least. Those research teams that have to get funded, and then they can make a lot of money off of that. They make all the money.
Yeah, but
in the
where
world
does the
if they sell
funding
it.
come from?
The government, but like if they don't fund them well, that's the thing. But
Right. So
Yeah.
if the government
the government
if
doesn't.
the government doesn't fund them,
But if the government funds them, it's
a
almost
big
like
if.
it's like the war on terror thing with oil. Like we didn't make money as a government; we made money in private stuff. Those senators would be on their ass, like have a fire under their ass to, hey, let's fund this because we can be crooked and make a lot of money when we sell to third world countries for way too much.
but what if there's greater benefit in being able to fly under the radar?
Like if you're a pedophile.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm really not surprised that the United States wasn't the one to come up with the vaccine.
Yeah, I feel like doctors are good here.
we
though.
can't have one yet. The election isn't until November.
That's kind of also what I was gonna get at next too.
Yeah, there's an election. There's an election in November, so we can't have a vaccine. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know how that's gonna go.
But that was great. What did you say that on the last show? I don't know if we just talked about it or you said it.
I've been saying it. So someone put out a meme and goes, "Well, at least we know exactly when this pandemic is gonna end.
Yeah.
We know precisely.
Yes.
If Biden wins, it's November 4th. If Trump wins, it's January 2025."
Because it was what was the thing? Europe is not having a second wave. That's weird because we don't have an election in the fall.
Every other country that had a wave is not having a second wave, and we're the only country that has an election in November.
And we're one of the few two-party systems in the world, so it's almost like it's a this or that for something that's always one thing.
Yep.
Oh, we're gonna disagree real quick?
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll help.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's do polar opposites.
I don't know. I think I might vote for Joe Jorgensen. I might continue my voting for the Libertarians.
Dude, honestly, I mean, if that's the
if Kanye's on the ballot, I'll vote for Kanye.
Dude,
He went insane.
He's on the ballot in Oklahoma.
No, but
Did you hear about him?
he's bipolar.
No.
Okay, so
Well, I mean, I know he has mental health issues, but so does Trump.
He fucked but he
Do you
was
wanna-
like
Do you want to hear the story of
Yeah.
this week?
not good.
He had
what happened?
he went to South Carolina and had a city hall thing, whatever they call them, and the town hall.
Yeah.
And he does his little meeting.
Yeah.
Goes fucking berserk. He starts crying during it because he's talking about, oh, my wife's gonna divorce me for saying this, but my first child, I want to have her aborted, and I wanted to abort my firstborn. And then he was getting into that, weeping and saying like, my father wanted to have me aborted, I'm just like him, and blah 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 like that. It's just like all personal stuff. He's freaking out, and then he said something about what's her name, Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. She just brought them to somewhere else where other white people would tell him what to do. Says that's how, like, that's one of his endings. That's how he ended strong. Like, he just had a rant, and he's been on Twitter afterwards, the day after yesterday and today, just attacking Kris Jenner, just like, you won't let me see my kids, and like, those are my kids, and this and that. I don't care anymore. And then like today, I guess he said, I don't care if I get divorced. He's fucking going all over the place.
Yeah.
You want that as a president?
We have that as a president.
Yeah, but he doesn't like. Yeah, but this is a president that wears it on his sleeve and then drops some beats.
If you're gonna tell me, so both Trump and Kanye are both mentally unstable.
We're gonna sit here. We're not gonna sit here and entertain Kanye West winning the presidency, right?
At least he spits hot fire.
No, that's Dylon. That is Dylon.
Well, like.
Because the 5 greatest rappers of all time are Dylon, 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 and Dylon.
Yes.
Because he spits hot fire.
I mean,
you
Donald Trump
did not hear me say Kanye West, right?
I don't think so.
Dylon.
Dylon.
I mean,
Okay.
Donald Trump was not a political figure until he eventually just was.
Until he became one.
until literally the day he was voted in.
Kanye West was not a political figure.
That's why I'm saying like
He just
it's a horrid future.
Actually, I guess, you know what? I'll come around on it because when I heard Trump was running for president, I go, huh, that's kind of funny. What's he doing that for? And then he won the Republican nominee. I go,
Huh.
how?
That's weird.
And then I'm like, and this is like from a non-political side, just like, I look at it like the guy from The Apprentice that owns all the golf courses.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's the thing.
Okay. And then like he won the nominee, I go, oh, it's weird. I go, how's he even gonna get a vote in this thing?
Yeah.
And then he won. I was like,
Yeah.
It's crazy how your
shows
reality,
how much I know.
how you visualize the world can change.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I don't know.
is Joe Jurgensen the woman who beat out Vermin Supreme?
Yes.
I guess I might have to respect that decision and not vote.
Okay.
Yeah. She also, what the fuck? She's fucking crazy. She is like very, very libertarian. She said she wanted to abolish the ATF.
What would that do for us?
Alcohol, tobacco, fact.
Would I be able to have my Cuba Cubas back in Massachusetts?
Yeah, could we get flavored tobacco back? I don't know, actually. I don't know what the ATF actually does.
I mean, they just do their raids. It seems that's the only time you see them.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know what.
I love it though. It's alcohol, tobacco, firearms. It's like,
Oh, so like you guys are headquartered in Louisiana?
but it's like, no, but I'm just like alcohol, tobacco, firearms. It's like, okay. So they show up when there's a gun raid. Makes sense.
Yeah,
Are there any big tobacco raids?
right.
Oh, we got a car full of guys with a few logs full of grizzly wintergreen pouches.
Yeah. Are they showing up like
Coming up from Rhode Island.
They trying to
Give them a
bust some
share.
old school moonshiners? Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. It's weird. I never really understood the ATF.
Why can't they just be the DEA plus F? DEF.
Def.
Just go in together.
DEA-F.
DEA-F.
Def.
What?
Huh?
Can't hear you. Can't hear you as I pull the trigger.
So would that be a prereq or job experience?
Is that a skill or experience?
If it's like day drinking, it's both.
Do you want to wrap this up? I am dripping sweat right now.
You'll be fine. Yeah. Observation.
Yes.
No one's sick anymore. Notice how, like, every year,
Oh yeah.
like, it's like, oh, I can't do that. Like, it's like, oh, or I get the call, like, oh, hey, you know, Sam's not going to make it to training today. He's not feeling too great.
Yeah.
No one's sick anymore. No
Yeah.
one's got that summer random flu.
Yeah.
No one's gonna play the,
You get the shit.
oh, I don't want to go to whatever activity today. I don't feel great, because really what
Yeah.
they want to do is go drink in the woods or something. Or like, if they're
Go to
younger,
the beach.
go fishing, whatever the fuck we used to do. Go kick
Yeah.
over trash cans, like whatever dumb shit.
Yeah.
But I don't. So not only does that not happen, I don't like I'm kind of sick. It might be gone almost forever. Not permanently in all.
Imagine we get rid of the cold, the common cold.
Yeah.
Well, we overdo
well, it's one of
it.
those things. It's like, are you? So if you're because and I'm going with like obviously I'm poking fun at the fact that people are like, oh, I'm sick today. It's like that's gone because you don't want to pretend you're sick at all.
No.
Especially now.
No.
I woke up with a sore throat and you guys wanted to quarantine me.
No. I said.
Stay away.
I said.
Yeah.
No, because it's because oh, I got like the crow, whatever. I go, well, then go get a fucking test. Oh, well, I'm not sick. Well, you just said you were.
Right.
So are you sick or are you not?
It was also right as you had to go back to work.
Yes.
So like I didn't give a fuck because I mean obviously I don't want it, but like I'm not gonna give it to anybody.
Well, it's also one of those where when someone I do that to everybody when they come at me with like, oh, I don't feel great. It's like, go. Oh, I don't feel that bad. Okay, motherfucker. Do you feel sick or do you not? Like the kids will say that to me sometimes. Like on the field, it's like, oh, I don't feel great today.
Right.
And I'm like, then you gotta go. And they're like, oh, well, I'm not sick. It's like, well, you just said you were.
Right. Which one is it?
And then they're like, well, I'm not sick. No, I'm not sick. I didn't sleep last night. It's like, yeah, I might have to have you go.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like that, like that's where we're at now too. Because if someone's like, it's gonna be weird though come winter.
Yeah.
Like what happens with like a regular cold?
Do you fucking quarantine?
I don't know.
Oh shit.
Because actually,
do you think so?
Because I also saw that someone released a list of symptoms for COVID-19.
Yeah.
It's everything. It is absolutely everything.
Like
Zolak replied to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And goes, oh, so like any normal cold?
Yes. It was
so,
everything.
So what I was gonna say is, now I kind of already know what a response could be to this, but do you think that if more of the public was actually educated, and I'm not even educated, literally what I mean is smarter, if they had a higher IQ and understood that the coronavirus was of the same strain as the common cold, that people would be freaking out as much?
No, because they're not freaking out about.
Well, they're freaking out. I would be willing to bet that more than half, so at least 51% of the mass countrywide hysteria is media driven, and that's the constant day in, day out, all fucking day long on Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 10, Fox, CNN, all of that. Coronavirus, people are dying, coronavirus. They brought in refrigerated trucks for dead bodies, coronavirus, people are dying left and right, refrigerated trucks. Like, putting that every single day is going to create panic because people aren't smart enough to think on their own, as a general rule. Like, I'm really interested to know, hey, here's something. Seriously, you guys in New Zealand, like the listeners that we have in New Zealand, I'm legitimately asking you right now, send us a DM at Sarcasm Speaks Pod on Instagram. I am genuinely curious as to what the media coverage was like in other countries of this. And particularly in New Zealand, because they were able to just kind of get rid of it.
Yeah.
I really want to know what media coverage was like on this. Was it pounded down your throat every single day? This is the worst thing ever. We're all going to die. Or is it, you know what, this thing's pretty serious. We need to take some steps to make sure we eradicate this. Let's all work together and kind of, we're all in this together. But like, let's legitimately, like, let's listen to scientists. Let's do what we need to do, and let's make sure this is there. Oh, and by the way, they just caught this person called Ghislaine Maxwell who was involved with Jeffrey Epstein and child trafficking. You know what I mean? Like, and talk about like real shit. Because literally the only thing that's been on the news since February is coronavirus, Trump, and Black Lives Matter.
Numbers, cases, deaths.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Right. But like a lot of the panic is from that.
Well, think
And
about
if people, like I said, literally, if people were smarter, as a general rule, like I feel like there would be a way less panic of this, because people would be able to look at it and be like, well, this thing is a mutated strain of the common cold. People are dying from it. It is a real thing. But people also die of all kinds of other illnesses. So, I don't know. We should probably be wary of it, but like, I'm not going to go to the store and buy a month's worth of food. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, wouldn't a panic make people more like disciplined to it? Like at least like be more like, wouldn't we have more success as a panicky nation with a media that scares us?
I don't know,
rather than
you
when-
tell me. What are our cases like right now?
It's bad. So no, the people are stupid and all that. But like you would think a panic would do that, but it's more into like personal freedoms that becomes like an issue.
So here's the other thing. If you think that the coronavirus itself is overblown, the panic is also overblown.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of states, plenty of cities, plenty of places
Well, we've talked about that
not
before.
doing anything.
Places in like the backwoods of like Iowa and like Idaho and Montana. Like I guarantee there are places in those states. Nothing has literally changed.
How about a major?
Because it's a town of 1,200 people.
Yeah. How about like some of the major cities down the East Coast?
Yeah.
It's summer.
Yeah.
They're destinations.
Right.
They want their tourist money.
Right.
So they're open. Oh, the tourists might not give us enough money if we make them wear a mask in our bar. No masks.
Right.
Like.
Right.
Dude, it's it's happening. It's not.
Yeah.
Like that's so obviously in Massachusetts everyone's freaking out. Like
Pretty much.
everyone's fucking losing their shit.
Yeah.
These other places around the country, again, you only hear what gets reported.
Right.
You don't hear what's happening in San Antonio. Oof, I don't. Do you know what happened in San Antonio?
No.
You might know what happened in Austin though.
Yeah.
Like.
Right. Right.
You know what's happening in Florida because for whatever the fuck is happening down there, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck whoever's fucking that. Like,
Right.
I
Well, now we're also finding out that you can just manipulate numbers too.
Yeah.
They still have like 15,000 a day, right?
No, so the problem.
that-
I'm sorry. So
that's
the case number I believe is correct. Sorry,
Yeah.
That's the
but
percentage they fucking.
but the percentage is so
Yeah, they-
fucked up.
yeah, they didn't do that right.
So it's like, oh, we have like a 98% positivity. It's like,
There are multiple places that have 100%.
That's messing with the.
They only reported the positive cases.
yeah.
They did not report negative cases.
No. And if you look at the amount of people who have recovered from this thing,
Yeah.
that number is pretty staggering too.
Pretty fucking
Okay.
high.
No, we can't talk about that though, because if you consider this thing like, a flu, because a flu can kill you.
Yeah.
If you call it like pneumonia, my family has a terrible fucking run with pneumonia. Pneumonia's undefeated against the fucking Dataros.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm 3-0.
I think in the GLOs, so both sides.
Right.
Pneumonia has not lost.
Right.
Do you know what an infection rate of pneumonia is and a death rate? No. I bet someone out listening right now knows coronavirus but couldn't tell me anything else.
Right.
What about just like murder in at-risk communities? What's the
Yeah.
rate? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know any of these numbers, so I have no frame of reference. I couldn't tell you if people are dying at a rate at which they would die anyway,
Right.
because I'm uninformed. I don't know, and I don't know what the answer is.
Right.
So even if we are at like a 0.5% death rate from just this disease,
Mhm.
well, what are other diseases? I don't know.
Right.
Like, and everyone's gonna be like the total cases. It's like,
You
dude,
could also-
you're gonna throw nursing home numbers at me, and it's like I don't fucking, dude.
I
Nursing home, they
really-
could get a stomach bug running through that place, and then
Right.
people are gonna die of dysentery. Like,
Right. Right. I'm really interested at the end of this year, going back and looking at where 2020 falls, both globally and also in the United States, as total number of deaths. compared to every other year.
That would be interesting.
So take the last, pick a number, 10, 15, 20 years. Let's say since 2000.
World's been around a long time. Take the last 100.
Yeah, you could do that if you want.
Because people live longer
Well,
now.
I was also accounting for like new science and things like that. So
Wait, hold on. What was that word you used?
yeah.
Did you say science?
Yeah.
No, you can't use that.
No, I can't use science.
It's
It's misogynistic.
You have to jump right into emotion.
Yeah, but like.
Because remember, by me implying that the coronavirus might be as deadly as other things,
yeah,
I just killed someone's grandmother.
Here I go again. Fuck! I thought I could get away with it. Here I go, one more episode in a row. My string of wanting to use logic. But what if, let's say, I'm just completely making numbers up here. What if, say, every year in the United States, 20 million people die from January 1st to December 31st? On average, in the last 20 years, 20 million people die. Well, what if in 2020, 20.5 million people die? What if, fuck it, let's go a full million. What if 21 million people die in 2020? Is that statistically significant? Because I'm willing to bet it's not. Because if the average of the last 20 years is 20 million, or whatever number it is, that means it's just the average, which means maybe in 2017 it was 27 million. But then maybe in 2003 it was 16 million. So would a number of 21 million, 22 million even, up to 25, 20, like where does that number become statistically significant where 2020 becomes almost an outlier in the data set? Rather than just part of the average. You know, like what? I don't know the math. I don't know the exact numbers. But like, I'm really interested to see at the end of 2020, and I'll do it both the United States and globally. What is the average death rate every year over the last 20 years? And then what was this year?
I feel like there's so many variables, like it can't work. Like,
So I have a death rate per
Average
1,000 people.
Okay.
Last year, 8.7. This is going back each year.
So 9 people per 1,000. That's a lot of math, but I was just saying there's 350 million.
Yeah.
So what is that, 350,000 people a year? No, that's not right.
I can try to find this in terms of absolute numbers.
All right, well, continue on what you have. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I'm on a new thing.
Okay.
Oh God, now we have. Why the fuck do they need to give, like, when they just give it, why can't it be total number of deaths and then percent of population? Yeah. Why the fuck does one site need to be deaths per 1,000 and then another site needs to be deaths per 100,000? What the fuck?
because no one likes stats.
Jesus Christ.
Statistics plus stuff.
Fuck off. Okay, what year is this? Is this 2019? Fuck me. I don't even know what year this is. But I do know that heart disease kills almost 750 million people. No, 1 million. Sorry.
Just like
I spoke.
people are just dropping dead.
Almost
around us.
750 million people, and cancer gets another 600,000.
Dude, what are big factors in heart disease and cancer?
You know what'll be funny too is
Overall health, right?
So
diet, nutrition, exercise.
if we can see how many cancer deaths and how many heart disease deaths there are each year,
yeah.
I bet you it's way lower this year.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh
the labeling.
shit. Yeah.
The labeling.
Yeah, that's true too.
Same with Alzheimer's. I bet all those numbers come down
Yeah.
a ton.
Yeah.
Deaths by day. I don't want deaths by day. Jesus Christ! Just
What
give me
is-
a
no,
fucking
No,
number.
do the deaths by day and multiply it by 365. And
Anyway, I'm back to my old chart. So 2019 was 8.7, 2018 8.6, 2017 8.5. This is going down by a tenth each year.
Yeah.
Eventually it's gonna go back up, but it goes Actually, it almost goes linearly. So
Well,
going back to 2008, we were at 8.1.
Yep.
2007 was 8.2. So the deaths per 1,000 drops for a while. Like it's a W.
Yeah.
So in 1986, it was at 8.9. I'm sorry, 89 was 8.925, so 8.9 and change.
Yeah.
Then it goes down until 2007 to 8.2. And then, or no, 2007. And then 2007, it keeps rising back up. And now we're last year was 8.7, so guess what this year's probably going to be?
8.8.
8.8. But from 86, looking back, wow, this is fucking fucked up. Oh, it was a little more volatile back then. Oh, wait, no, it was 9s. Yeah, same thing. Goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would imagine once you get, like, prior to the 80s, there's wars going on. So, deaths are going to be... There's going to be a lot less consistency in deaths
Does this take like
while you're
inflation?
fighting, like, in Vietnam. And
No,
Korea.
it's the rate per 1,000 people.
Does that mean inflation's like canceled out from rate? I guess, yeah.
Like,
Like if the population's more, it wouldn't matter now.
No.
Yeah.
No.
it's
Yeah.
the rate.
Because it's on it's like a ratio,
Yeah.
which is basically a percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's interesting. Interesting to see.
Our people die less than Europe.
Well,
Totally sure.
Hey, remember how Italy got crushed?
Yeah.
Their death rate, like 10.6.
Yeah, so they normally have a lot of people die anyway.
Yeah.
well, they're an old population, right? Like they've been that way for a while now. Like that was the thing.
Probably. I mean,
Like,
but
they-
again, it
there's
probably
obviously
comes
young
up and
people.
down, just like theirs
Yeah.
does. If they have an old
It's the
population
trend.
now, it's whatever. I'm wondering where China is on this, because they're probably going to be at like,
They didn't even tell
0.2.
I was
us.
going to say less than one.
you know.
No, nobody dies here.
Nah.
People disappeared. We don't know where they
Yeah.
went. We think they found a better life.
Yeah, no one
somewhere.
actually dies. They just move on.
Like
So,
the turtle from Kung Fu Panda. He didn't die.
Did you ever Final Thought?
Not really. It was on
We
this.
got away from Final Thoughts.
Yeah.
That was my, no, that was
No,
my,
I know,
was
but
saying.
we trailed.
I'll just continue with. I'm not afraid of dying of the coronavirus. I'm afraid. I don't like the things that might happen after. Like, because back to percentages, one thing I found a while ago. Like out of one person that dies, 19 more are usually hospitalized. Those people are like fucking, like the fat guy dying in the hospital.
Yeah.
But like, out of that, 10 people get lung damage, 18 get heart damage permanently. 3 will have strokes. I remember that was a thing in the news. People having strokes because of the coronavirus. They think it's linked. Then neurological damage for 2. All that stuff's the things that I think is where the media gets me. I don't want to not die. And, oh, my heart hurts. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd be curious to learn more about
that's
that.
the thing I think is
Of what?
the actual deal, like people should care
Right.
about. Because that's like so much more of a percent. Like if you get sick, you might get the fucking lung thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it, and I'm definitely not a fucking doctor or scientist, but they're saying people are getting strokes from the coronavirus. Well, if they didn't have the coronavirus, would they still have had the stroke anyway, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I also,
Like,
and I have trust issues with everything that comes out because the head epidemiologist, the guy that's been there since the beginning, the guy giving us most of the info. Yeah. How's his fucking photo shoot and his first pitch coming?
yeah,
Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy Fauci. He doesn't know shit. Fuck that loser.
yeah,
All his predictions are fucking wrong. I'm not fucking listening to him. I'll listen to someone who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about and isn't doing this to be a fucking celebrity or a politician or to write a book
Right.
or whatever the fuck. Give me someone who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. But those people are hidden and they won't fucking present them. So that's why I have trust issues with all this.
Yeah.
I've also seen people that say, well, we can never go back to school and we can never open up and we should probably just have masks for the rest of our lives because we don't know what's going to happen.
Hey, they're
You know
right,
what?
I don't know.
Correct. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I have a fucking brand new chainsaw here.
Yeah.
I might chop it down and it might end up fucking splitting me in half. I don't fucking know what's gonna happen.
Nice. I'll
I could fucking get smoke pulling out of the fucking house. Like,
Yeah.
no one knows what's gonna happen tomorrow, and that's the thing with the virus. Like, what do you want to do? Bunker down? And I'm not. I know you like. That's fine. You can have legitimate concerns about what like the long term effects, but
Yeah, you can't just like.
some of these people, it's like, you know what? Then go live in a bunker forever.
Right.
Don't work.
Go live with Tim Thomas.
Do not work, and do not ask for government money because you're choosing not to work.
Right.
So no fucking handouts here.
Right. Right.
If you're afraid of everything, go live in the fucking woods. Go live with the cows in Wyoming. I hear they don't have it.
Yeah.
Like,
that's where my like final thought came from, and just to pivot to like a future, maybe if like people do get lung damage, like athletes, that's like a thing, like the sickle cell trait. I can't play this week. He's really fucked up with his lungs. He worked out too hard. This safety can't play now for this week. Like,
Yeah, I
things
mean,
like
guy,
that could
there's
be a thing.
there's been things that those guys with sickle cell trait can't play in Denver.
Yeah.
It was Ryan Clark was the safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers a while back. He was really fucking good, and anytime they played in Denver, he didn't go with the team. He couldn't play.
Yeah, I was wondering if that would be something that could happen potentially in the future. If they really fuck up, like the NBA fucks up and they all kind of get it. And like 19 people out of the whole NBA are like those people that like, oh well,
But
they don't play 48 minutes anymore.
I also would be willing to bet that those are the people that aren't going to have anything happen. Those are like the elite of the elite of
Well, I mean, it's going to be the ones that
athletic
get sick. So.
health peak performance.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, healthy people.
if you're an NBA, if you're in the NBA, you're in like the 0.00001% of like elite human beings in the world.
Yeah.
Like those people are fine. Like if they get it, they're gonna be fine.
Well, that's why I'm thinking of like the sickle cell. Like it's one person, maybe one guy gets it really bad, and it's not.
But if they have sickle cell, then that's a predisposition.
I know. I'm just comparing like the percentage of people that would like it'd be like one person in the NBA, one to like a big number of like 10, which is like nothing. Or like if you had football. That's all.
Okay. My final thought is I want to give a big happy birthday to Robin Williams. R.I.P. Today would have been, oh shit, I closed the page. Hold on, now I have to pull it back up. I deleted all the tabs that I had open.
That's why.
Robin Williams was born in 1951, so he would have been, what, 59 today? I don't know. I don't know math. I'm not a mathematician.
what year?
1951.
Maybe 69.
69. Nice.
Nice.
So today would have been Robin Williams' 69th birthday, and he was one of the last like few like really good fucking actors, like actors. He could play the fuck out of like just about any role. So it's tough. It's tough that he's gone. He died fucking. He hung himself, right? Is that it? Yeah.
I think it was a doorknob one too. Death by doorknob crap.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily remember exactly how it was, but that's wow. He died in 2014. That was already 6 years ago. I thought it was like 2 years ago. But yeah, it's like Robin Williams, Tom Hanks. I'll throw Will Smith into that. I don't know. Tom Cruise? Yeah, I'll throw Tom Cruise. Like, guys that can literally just play the fuck out of any role.
Yeah,
Like,
they're the character.
Yeah, like, Brad Pitt's good. I'd potentially put him in there.
Yeah, I don't
He's
see
more
Brad
of like
Pitt
just a strictly like action star. He's a movie star. Brad Pitt is a fucking movie star.
Yeah, you don't see Brad Pitt. You see like his character a lot.
Yeah.
In his movies.
George Clooney. I'll give it to George Clooney. He's got a lot of depth. Mainly what I'm saying is like guys with depth.
Yeah.
Like guys that can play any fucking
Get
role.
lost in the role.
So yeah, like
characters.
Robin Williams, Will Smith, Tom Hanks, those guys, Tom Cruise, they're great. I might throw Leo in there.
Yeah, he's good.
Leo's pretty good, but yeah. So happy 69th birthday, or would be 69th birthday to Robin Williams. R.I.P.
Sad.
So that's going to do it for us, everybody. Thank you for watching, tagging along on the YouTube show. Make sure you click subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest releases that get put out. Thank you also for listening, whatever podcast streaming service you're using, whether it's, I don't know, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, fucking, I don't know, whatever else is out there. You name it, we're on it. Make sure you keep spreading the word too. Tell everybody you know about the show. And you can find us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Again, my Kiwis out there, New Zealand, please slide in those DMs at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Or actually anybody. There's some people in India that listen. Anybody that's not in the US, I'm genuinely curious of what the media coverage was like through this whole time for you guys. So at Sarcasm Speaks Pod on Instagram. We're on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks, and then our Facebook page is just Sarcasm Speaks. So until next time, good night.